Love and harmony to you all. I am Peacekeeper, and I'm here to deliver yet another powerful message. Today's message is all about the perks of religion and the negatives in religions. So I'll be breaking this down very simple for those of you who are interested in this message. Stay tuned until the end of this message. But before I dive into today's message, let's just take some time just to take a couple deep breaths and give thanks. So, in this practice, what it is that you are giving thanks for, basically, hold within your mind's eye something that you hold dear to you that you're very grateful for. As for me, I'll be holding just the fact that I'm able to be here to deliver this message with you guys. I'm also able to have a new lease of life on this beautiful day. So I'll be giving thanks for that. So each deep breath, hold your focus, harness your focus on something that you are most grateful for. And that, my friend, automatically shifts you into a higher vibrational frequency. So let's go. Gratitude. So, for starters, some of the positives in religion is that it gives us a sense of hope and it gives us something, you know, to look for in terms of it gives us comfort in that way that, we have that belief in an external being or external entity basically giving us strength when we need it the most, which is very beautiful, which is very powerful. But this being said, some of the negative aspects or the negative things that religion comes with, it disconnects us from unity consciousness, meaning a lot of people who are like, let's say, you're a Muslim or a Hindu, Baptist, Christian, etc., etc., a lot of the times they find themselves fighting with other religions. They find themselves taking out, you know, a lot of aggression on other religions, and that, my friends, has disconnected us from unity consciousness. So the way I see it, religions are beautiful, they are beneficial to us. Yet again, it gives us comfort and also gives us something to believe in. So that gives humanity a hope. So this is why I love religion. This is why I love learning from religions. But the issue here is the mere fact that it has an ideology of the omnipotent being. If you're Muslim, then the omnipotent God is basically Allah. If you're a Christian, then the omnipotent God is Jesus. If you are a Baptist, they deal with other spiritual gods and deities like Oshun and Shango and all of these other different things. As in for Hinduism, they are Krishna, Lakshmi, all of these different things. And all of that is fine, all well and good. But the truth is, there's only one God. That's the truth. It doesn't matter if your God is Jesus. It doesn't matter if your God is Allah. It doesn't matter who you call that God to be. The truth of the matter is God is everything in existence. God is the omnipotent, the one and only. That's the true one and only living God. So I'll be diving into some of the errors also in Christianity, some of the errors in Islam, some of the errors in Hinduism. This is not, a message that most people will like, but it's just hard raw truths that needs to be said. So for starters, in Christianity, in the Bible, some people think that once they believe in Jesus, they are saved. And that belief system has created, a mentality of you can do basically harm to others, and then as long as you believe in Jesus, you're good. And that, my friend, is so not true. Everyone has consequences and prices to pay for their actions. Not because a man died back in the day for our sins means that you are free of sin, or means that you are free of anything. No. It's still here, it still exists. You still need to deal with the consequences for your actions. And that's the truth. It was just a made up story that they told us to get be ignorant and basically not take accountability for our actions. That was the purpose of that story. On the other hand, though, there was an actual being of Jesus in terms of what it is that he was teaching, what it is that he was here doing on the planet, on the land, actually trying to make a change, trying to make a difference. But because of a lot of people didn't want any change and stuff like that, they would have despised him. Some people liked him, some people didn't like him, etc., etc., etc. Now, my belief also, I don't actually think that they got rid of him. I don't actually think that Jesus ever died really and truly, because energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transferred. So even in terms of they were like, died and then resurrected again, incarnation is real. There are old souls here, there are new souls here. That's a fact. That's the truth behind reincarnation. So in terms of Jesus being the only physical reincarnation, that's not true. There are a lot of other beings reincarnating here on the planet. I'm not go too deep into that, but that's an error there, and that's something that you guys can look out for, because the truth is we've been lied to a lot from birth, and that, my friends, is a tough pill to swallow. So now, also when moving into Islam, I can see where some of the Islamic traits and traditions actually follow some of the Christian traditions. They also actually follow some of the spiritual traditions. Example, they talk about the 7 stages of heaven, and the 7 stages of heaven lies within our human body. Basically talking about the 7 chakras. So what are these chakras? The chakras are energy centers: root chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, solar plexus, sacral, etc., etc. Hi, welcome. So I'm just diving a little deep here into some of the benefits, some of the negatives in religion. So I'll be talking about both sides, the positives and the errors in it. So just keep an open mind if you're interested in learning something new, gaining a different insight, a different perspective. Know that what I'm sharing here is not, normal, quote unquote, in the system. So keep an open mind. Aside from that, I'll be continuing here now. So as I was on the topic now of even Islam, some of the things that they are following and they implement in their life. Example, the 7 stages of heaven, they actually follow the cycle of the 7 chakras. So this is why also they follow the lunar cycles and stuff like that, because their religion actually is kind of in alignment to the moon cycles. This is why they have Eid on a specific time period. This is why they do that to fast. So they know the power of fasting, they know the power of prayer also. Most religions know the power of prayer, and this is why, yet again, I say there are benefits in it and there are negatives. prayer, the power of prayer, connecting to the divine, connecting to the God, whatever that God may be in whichever reality, whichever background that you have come from, whether that be Jesus, whether that be Allah, whether that be Lakshmi, whether that be Krishna, it doesn't really matter. Whatever God that you pray to works for you and it will continue to work. But the end result of what I'm getting at here, the power of prayer, you're basically connecting to the divine. You're basically going within yourself to connect to the God that you are worshiping or that you are praying to. But the truth is, the issue, the power of it is yes, connecting. The issue though is the fact that most people who are in religion believe that that God is the omnipotent God, that God is the fixed God, and that their God is the best God. But the truth is, everyone God is working for them. Like, have you ever wondered why the Christian God works for them, the Muslim gods work for them, the Hindu gods work for them? It's because that's their belief system. Whatever it is you believe in is a reality, is that reality. So it is true. I'm not here to tell anybody that Jesus doesn't exist. I'm not here to tell anybody that Allah doesn't exist. I'm not here to say that. I'm just here to say that put aside the differences of whichever God you serve, and understand that it's about unity consciousness. Meaning, as I believe in a divine creator, an omnipotent. I believe in that. But I believe my God doesn't have a form. I believe my God is basically existing in everything. I can connect to my God through myself. I can see my God within someone else, within a plant, within an animal, within the atmosphere, within just vibing with nature. God is everywhere for me. And that being said, this is why when it comes to what I believe in, I don't like have any issue with anyone else's religion. So this allows me to be flexible and be in any space and any environment and learn to accept others for who they are. But that being said, if others who are in that mentality of they need to be like their God and they who they worship and who they pray to is the end all and say all, I realize a lot of fight. Like, for instance, yesterday. Yesterday I was doing a live, and the live had nothing to do talking about religion. It was just talking about mental health. It was just talking about basically raising awareness and stuff that, hey, hold your faith and keep going. That was all the live was about. And someone came into the live and was like, I hope you have a cross on your table or a cross in your room. And I'm like, okay, peace be with you. Like, if I'm not speaking something that interests you, or if you find like what I'm saying is going against, like, just don't listen to it. Like, it's not that hard though. But I realize a lot of fights, so this also influenced my message today. Speak about some of the positives and some of the negatives. So it's like I said, it gives you something to believe in, and which works because it gives you hope, it gives you faith, and it allows you to trust in a being higher than oneself, so that you won't get ignorant and arrogant. That's the beautiful, the positives and the benefits. But still, you see people getting arrogant and ignorant. You see people wanting to fight other people for yet again what they believe in, and that's war-based mentality that is disconnecting us from the truth of who we are. It's separating us, and the thing is, separation is the greatest illusion ever created by mankind. You see, the way the system controls us, the way they gain power and authority over us is keeping us keeping us divided. You see, united we stand, divided they conquer us all. So this is why these are some of the negatives that comes with religion. It creates a lot of division. Have you ever heard the term religion is division? Yeah, divide and conquer the nation. That's the power. That's the trick. That's how they've gotten a lot of us to fight against each other. But the truth is, Why fight against each other? Like, it doesn't matter what you believe in. It really doesn't matter. All that matters is, hey, you can be confident in your will. You can believe in Jesus. You can believe in Allah. You can believe in Krishna. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in. But let's make friends with each other. Let's respect each other's cultures. Let's be each other's keepers. That's unity consciousness. That's the truth that actually makes a difference in this world. Aside from fighting against somebody else because of what they believe in, thinking that what you believe in is the best and stuff like that. No one has the best. No one knows it all. No one has the end all and they say, oh, there's something that we can learn from all religions. There's something that we can learn from everyone aside from our differences. So putting aside the differences and understanding that, hey, we are not the ones that we should be basically fighting against. We shouldn't be fighting at all. But the truth is, look at the bigger enemy. And I'm saying it as an enemy blatantly because they are not really doing anything for our best interest. The government, they're not. They really not. They are just pushing their agendas. They are just basically shoving down our throats what they want, not what the people want. And yet still we have a lot of people fighting on each other, the small fries, the crabs in our barrel, pulling on each other like, hey, I better than you because you probably have a little bit of status, but your status isn't even stating nothing because then it's somebody at a higher authority over you that can tell you what to do and you're like a little bitch having to do whatever it is that they say. Come on. That is not something that should be. There should never be one higher hierarchy authority. It should always be a collective opinion. It should always be a collective take. No one person should always get that last say to say, well, hey, I say this and this is what I say and this must go. That's who the biggest enemy is. That's who the biggest bully is on the earth. The government system. And that's the raw hardcore truth to take in. But yet still we have people in different religions fighting on, hey, my religion know this, my religion know this, my religion know that. Come on. It doesn't matter. It really and truly doesn't. The important thing is actually coming together as one and uniting as one so that we can make the changes that can benefit our next generation, the generation upcoming thereafter that generation, and so on and so on and so on, so that we can better the planet, we can better the earth, we can better our living for the future, for ourselves too. Like, imagine a world where everyone can put aside their differences and be free amongst each other, allowing each other to live in genuine authenticity, embracing each other, and having similar interests to actually betterment in society. Example, a lot of us from from growing up, example, me personally, the lifestyle that I came from, the background that I came from was a Christian belief system where I once believed that once I believe in Jesus, I'm saved. And there was a savior coming here to help me and, basically free me and stuff like that. So I was just basically in the waiting room thinking that, all right, I'll just keep holding the faith and waiting for Jesus to come and save me, and waiting for that day to come, the second coming of Christ. And it was a great belief system because it kept me comforted, it kept me to gain in faith and hope. It kept me in that belief of, yeah, someone's coming to save me. But that being said, the negatives of it was the hardcore truth. No one is coming to save me. No one is coming to make that change. And that was a tough pill to swallow. But it empowered me because I realized that I have the power within to actually help make a change and make that difference. So it actually inspired me to creating this YouTube channel and also, raising awareness. It inspired me to actually doing something that can help and be beneficial, to actually start making the changes and to actually start implementing and pushing people to doing something that actually matters, aside from just fighting and actually bringing down each other. Like let's do something that actually matters, that can uplift and actually raise awareness so that we can make the change. Because I've realized that if we wait on Jesus, this was the belief that I had. If I wait on Jesus to come, then it's kind of a uncertainty. So I was like, what if Jesus is waiting on us to make the changes? What if Jesus is using us as a tool to make the difference? And I was like, I never thought of it that way. But then I realized that, wait a minute, they said that even though when Christ died and he spilled his blood on the earth, etc., etc., we all were covered in the blood of Christ. The consciousness was there now for all of us to tap into, for anyone that believes. But I even started to dive deeper into that thereafter, and I started to realize, wait, what? I started to realize that Christ, what is Christ? And I started to dive deeper into the meaning of Christ and what Christ is. Christ means pure, pure energy, pure essence. That's the meaning of Christ. And I was like, oh, okay. So diving deeper into that, I also found the term of a chosen one, and I started to dive deeper into what is a chosen one. And then I started to realize that a chosen one is someone who's anointed, an anointed one. And then I started to dive deeper into what is an anointed one. And then I realized it was simply a being, a old soul that has been reincarnating here over the times, history and generation upon generation timelines, actually reincarnating to do to do one job and one purpose in every incarnation, and that is the holy torch. That is the holy torch. The torch is the faith. So basically, it's like I said, it doesn't matter what religion you believe in. Chosen one can be in Islam, they can be in Christian, they can be in Hinduism, they can be in Buddhism, they can be in anything. A chosen one is not fixated in any one thing. Their main sole purpose, their main goal is to raise that torch and hold that torch and keep holding that torch and keeping the light of Christ burning. The light of Christ. So after diving into deepness, the depths of what is the light of Christ and where does that Christ energy come from, I started to see the purity of the term Christ, meaning Christ energy, meaning Christ consciousness. So it's a matter of anyone can tap into Christ consciousness, but Christ, in diving deeper, I realized that Christ itself is not Jesus. Jesus was a person connected to the Christ energy. And where was the Christ energy? He was connected to the Christ energy within himself. So that shit blew my mind from that realization. And that was something that was a tough pill to swallow, but I was like, shit. So then if the Christ energy, the essence, the soul that I have that governs my body is that of the Christ, then therefore I am connected to that. So therefore I can tap into that energy and actually allow that energy, allow Christ, the energy of Christ, to flow through me and bring forth what it is that I need to bring forth in this time. How the guidance of it to allow me to hold that torch and light the way and be the leader to help others, back to that part of connecting to their divine within themselves. And that's a hard raw truth that it took a while for me to grasp, especially from breaking free and branching off of the religious based mentality. It was tough because I realized that the energy, the essence of Christ, yet again meaning purity, is within everyone. Is within every religion. So that being said, anyone can choose to take up that torch and actually light the way and be of service to humanity and actually help connect people and not, you know, pushing people into that fight mentality, but more pushing them towards, unity consciousness. Anyone can do that, but a lot of people are not on that wavelength because of, yet again, some of the negatives that they have in religion. The negatives, yet again, are my God is the best God, their God is the best God, you know, X, Y, and Z, and that just puts a headbutt and fight, disconnecting us from the truest purpose of what we are here to do, actually unite together and move together collectively, energetically, to make difference, to make changes, to take care of the planet, to take care of the animals, to take care of the plants, to take care of our home. That's it. All the other religious additions corrupted us. Plain and simple. Like, it really did. It put us in that frame of mind of fighting. And this is why I'm here to share with you guys some of the positives and negatives in it. So, how did I move away from it and actually learn to embrace other people's religions now too? This one was the mentality of knowledge, understanding that the truth is always evolving, the truth is always changing, the truth is never the same. Example, the truth from 10 to 20 of thousands of years ago was the truth back then. It's still the truth now because it happened, but the truth is always changing now. Example, simplify, right? I'm holding a bottle in my hand, guys. I'm no longer holding a bottle in my hand, guys. Which one is the truth? Both the truth. I was once holding the bottle in my hand. I'm no longer holding the bottle in my hand. The both of them are the truth. So you see, the truth is constantly changing. Holding the bottle in my hand again, here is the truth. It's still the truth. That's how simple it is. The truth is constantly changing. Another example of the truth. A plant. A plant starts off as a seed, as a seed at first. It stands as just that little small little seed in the earth. And when you look at that seed and you plant it and you water it and you allow it to grow, the truth of it, it's a seed. It's still a seed. It just evolved. And it came out of that form and it kept growing, it kept growing, it kept growing. But the truth of it was, it is still a seed. It came from the seed, but that seed bloomed into a plant. But the truth of it back then was, it was once just a seed. Now the truth of it is, it's a plant that you can maybe get mangoes from. It's a plant that you can maybe get cherries from. It's a plant that you can maybe get okras from. It's a plant that you can maybe get papaya from. But the truth is always changing. It's always changing. So this is where I allow myself to move in and venture into different religions. And this is why I started to venture into Islam. I never really ventured too much into Hinduism, but I know a little bit of it through the practice of yoga and stuff like that. But I've realized that the more you learn about others, the more you're able to understand others, the more you're able to mesh with others, the more you're able to connect with others on deep levels. I can connect with a Christian on a deep level and actually hold a deep conversation with them regardless of their belief system. I can connect with a Muslim regardless of their belief system. I can connect with a Hindu regardless of their belief system, because I understand that God is universal. I understand that God's love for humanity is universal. God doesn't have more love because someone is a Muslim, or have more love because someone is a Christian, or have more love because someone believes in Hinduism or classifies that as demonic things and stuff like that. It's not true. It's not true. And that's a tough pill that I had was to swallow. But I realized that these were the errors that disconnected us from unity consciousness in the first place. So this is why I then moved into a holistic view of things. And in that holistic view, it actually taught me a lot more truths about what life is. And my truth is constantly evolving and constantly changing. I have a core belief system, but constantly evolving and constantly changing. That being said, though, I don't accept everything. No. Example. Someone if someone tells me something like this, okay, killing is not a sin. You could go out there and kill somebody and God wouldn't judge you for that. That's their belief. That's their perspective. I don't believe in taking a life. So I'm not going to accept what it is they believe in, because yet again of how open I am, and yet again of how free I am to learn new knowledge and learning deeper insights. No, I know right from wrong. I have that within me naturally. I know that I didn't give life, so I don't have the authority to take life. That's simple. It's facts, it's evidential. I didn't give life. No, I didn't breathe the breath of life into that being for them to be walking this earth. So who am I to take life? Simple. So it's like a lot of people in religion also has that fear of doing or not doing certain things because they believe that they will be tortured in eternal damnation in hell and stuff like that. But the truth is, hell doesn't exist in my world. What exists in my world is being truthful. What exists in my world is being real and doing the right thing. Not because you think somebody else holding a whip over you or because you're doomed to eternal damnation thereafter, but for the mere fact of your purity, the genuine love, the bliss that you have within yourself, that you're willing to do it still. You're willing to do the right thing still because it's what it is that you know is the right thing. Yeah. So as I was saying, you're willing to do it still because you know it's the right thing to do. You're not just doing it because you think it have consequences. You're doing it because you know that it is the right thing. You know right from wrong from birth. We are born into that. We have that naturally within us. Naturally, natural born, gifted with that awareness, that consciousness state of what is right, what genuinely feels good, and what doesn't feel good. So, looking at it and what's going on out there, it's very tough to look at. It's very tough to know that's what's going on, especially when it comes to, people having no remorse for human life. People having no remorse for some of the things that are going on in society, no remorse. Like, it's tough to really and truly sit with those type of things. So this is why I say, the beauty of some of the aspects in religion is that it it keeps people from doing bad things to other people. So that's some of the perks behind it. It keeps people in that fear of, not wanting to go to hell and stuff like that. But the truth is, hell doesn't exist. It exists based on engagement of your mind, which the system has trapped, limiting our mentality, limiting our mind, limiting what it is that we can create. They have put a lot of boundaries and borders upon what it is that we can create. But the truth is, uniting together, there is no telling what we can create. There is no telling that what we can build. What we can build. There is no telling where the world can evolve and move. But when you have limitations, of example, a lot of people don't even know that there's energy all around us in the atmosphere. Religion doesn't teach those type of things. Religion doesn't teach you that everything is energy. No, religion has a lot of fixated, boundaries and borders that one cannot cross, that one cannot believe, because if they believe anything outside of it, it's very, you know, condemning, it's damning them, it's dooming them, and that's not true. You're not doomed for believing something outside of religion. You're not doomed. It just opens you up to another realm. It just opens you up to a deeper, you know, introspection, a deeper state of consciousness, of awareness, that you understand that it's all oneness. You understand that everything is connected, nothing is disconnected from the other. You understand that. So this is where now, in terms of understanding that there's energy in the air, not limiting our minds, not limiting what it is that we can create, is very powerful, because the truth is, I was diving deep a couple of days ago and I posted a message on TikTok. For those of you who follow my TikTok or don't follow my TikTok, you can find me at Nature Lover, and I share daily messages on TikTok there also. And I was talking about basically we can create energy suits, meaning that we can create technology that can absorb the energy in the atmosphere and that can charge the suit, and we can also allow that suit to be able to connect to the Earth's gravitational pull, because gravity is what keeps us here stable. So if we can find a way to alter gravity, we can find a way to actually make suits that can hover above the Earth, which is mind blowing, which is powerful because of the amount of energy that it has in the atmosphere. That was something that blew my mind from getting that download in meditation, and I was like, damn. And it even got me to diving even deeper into how powerful we are as human beings in terms of our body even generates electricity. So imagine creating technology that can harness some of your energy from your body, that can allow that device or whatever it is to charge. Therefore, basically, you can charge your phone without even having to go home to plug it into physical. No, like we have free energy right here within our bodies too. And yet again, as we look around, yet so we're paying for electricity, we're paying for energy, when really and truly the reasons why we are so stagnant in our evolution also of technology is because we are not free to think. We are not free to expand our mind. We are not free to think differently. That is the issue that came from religions. So this is what I'm saying. There are benefits, yet again, there are negatives. Both of them, it's like I can see the good in it and I can see the negatives in it. But I'm saying this: expand your mind. Allow yourself to expand and think outside of the box and not be put in just that one box and just that bracket. Like, become an out of the box thinker. Like, think about the weirdest of shit that no one wants to think about. Like, this is how we grow and this is how we create new. Like, even Nikola Tesla, like a lot of the things that he was promoting and pushing, he created a car that could have connected to the energy that was in the air, by the way, and the car was driving from just connecting to the energy in the atmosphere. That's mind blowing, and that technology was here decades ago. So it's like, why haven't we evolved into that yet? And this is why I'm saying there's a bigger enemy. Like, your religious belief and my religious belief, what it is I believe in, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What matters is, where are we headed as a society? Where are we headed as a community? How can we create together to better society? So, for example, people like Tesla was actually creating technology and creating things that can better us as a society. And that, my friends, is where we should be headed. That's the torch, that's the light that we should be headed, that holding the light of unity consciousness. That's where we should be headed. What is your religion? My religion, well, as I was explaining earlier on, I am not religious. I love all religions, though I utilize the tools from religions, example, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, spiritual Baptist. I'm just universal, but my main practice is yoga. That is the closest thing to what I could say that I do on a regular, but it's not a religion because yoga is universal. So basically, my love is a universal energy, a universal thing. So my religion is love. The closest thing to a God that I may worship outside of myself is the planet. That's who I am. That's what I believe. That's the closest to worshiping something. Because the truth is, I don't believe in worshiping, I believe in giving thanks. Thanking the Creator, because I believe in a divine power. I understand that there's an omnipotent God that is here right now. It is everywhere. That God is within you, that God is within me, that God is all around us, that God is always here and omnipresent. This is what yoga has also taught me. Master presence, you master the connection to the divine within you. So I teach how to, connect to you in a universal way. The main reason why I'm using Gan Rising, the main reason why I'm talking about religion today is because of a message that, someone asked me yesterday. They were like, "Do you have a cross in your room?" And I was like, um, "Peace be with you and be on your way." Like, because I don't have time to fight whoever in terms of what religion they are in. But that being said, I'm also not open to fighting with anyone who is religious. No. if they're coming to me with that mentality, if they're coming to me with that vibe, because I also pick up on energies, I just basically, peace be with you, exactly what I did yesterday, and allow them to be on their way. I don't have to tell them anything. They don't have to tell me anything. I'm not against them in any way, form, or fashion, but don't bring that fight energy to me, because that's not what I'm on. I'm on that peace mentality. That's why my channel is named Peacekeeper. There's a reason why it's named Peacekeeper. I allow people to come to me who's meant to be here is meant to be here, who's not meant to be here is not meant to be here. That's the truth. I believe in peace. I believe in uniting. I believe in unity. This is what I'm pushing. This is the torch I'm holding. This is the light that I am giving. I am giving a freedom that, yet again, this level of freedom, the possibilities are endless. There are no fixed endings to this, because there are no limits to what it is we can create true unity. So as I was explaining earlier on also, my truth is not fixated. My truth can always change. It can change based on the information that I accumulate, that I acquire, that can help me to enhance my belief, that can help me to grow, that can help me to expand, that can help me to evolve. So for example, this book, it's in my hand. It's a book, it's a dictionary, it's here, right? This is the truth of now. I don't got any books in my hand anymore. Which one is the truth? Both of them are the truth. It is the truth. The truth just is always present. The truth is just always constantly changing. So this is where, you know, in order to break free and really and truly adapt, be adaptable, we need to be able to adapt to the changes of the truths of this existence. So as I was saying, based on what went on in the past, or the truth of what was going on back then, and based on the truth that is here now, there's a difference. This truth is now, that truth is there. Back then it's still the truth. It doesn't mean that that was a lie, no, but the go-to is to understand that the truth is omnipresent, always changing and moving forward, evolving. Because, example, another beautiful example that I can use, a butterfly that was once in a cocoon. It was once in a cocoon before, but that doesn't mean when it blooms it's no longer a caterpillar. It just transformed into a butterfly, but its previous stage, its previous shoot was a caterpillar. Now it's a butterfly. Both truths still existed at some point of time, in some space of time, in reality, in this existence. Mind blowing. That's the power of truth. That's the power of authenticity. That's what authenticity is. That's what truth is. So this is why living in the present moment, living in truth in every present moment is the truth of who you are, is the truth of what it is you can become also, is the truth of the now. And that being said, with the pros and cons of religion. The pros, yet again, beautiful in a sense where you get that sense of hope from another entity looking over you, watching over you, stuff like that. Having hope, having faith. Beautiful. I tell people this: whatever you believe in, keep believing in that if it works for you. But understand not to be fixated on your belief is the end all and say all, because that's where the arrogance, that's where the ignorance, and that's where the fight comes into play. Like example, yet again, that individual just came on my channel like out of the blue. Like, if I'm not saying something here that meshes or resonates with you, it's okay. You don't have to learn from me. That's the truth of it. That's who I am. I allow who to come, I allow who to go. I'm not here to try to get anybody to do anything. I'm just here to raise awareness. Who understands, who doesn't understand, doesn't understand. And that's the beauty of being open. That's the beauty of being universal. That's the beauty of it. That's the freedom that comes with it. That's the peace that comes with it. But that being said, the negatives that are there also on the other sides of religion, it's like we forget who the bigger enemy is. We forget who the slave masters really are. We forget that because of constantly focusing on the differences between others in terms of their religious background and their religious belief system. And this is the important insights with us. No problem. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. You know. By the way, this live is for you guys, so feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to, you know, if you all can add anything that is valuable also that can help others learn, feel free to add that in the chat because this is what we are here for, you know, to learn, to explore and learn about each other. You know, because it's not about me, it's never about me. I never want it to be all about me. I want it to be about us, about we, because the ego is all about me. The ego is all about I, and there's no I in team. So feel free, you know, to ask a question, share something that you guys do that helps you, you know, that we can probably use as a tool to help others, you know, because this is also what this platform is here for. This is what I am creating this platform for, to help others to grow and actually have a space where they can just be free with each other. You know, like this is the goal. This is the main goal, to create a community. So know that you are free, free to speak here. That being said, moving back into some of the deep insights of even technology, as I was on the topic of technology, I kind of straying focus a little bit. Religion and technology in the midst. But yeah, so some of the benefits of what we can get from technology moving forward is free energy. You know, we can develop technology that can sustain us in terms of not having to go to the government for energy. So this is why I'm influencing people to, you know, be open-minded and not fixated on just one way of thinking. You know, think outside of the box, because there's no telling what we can and cannot do when we connect to, you know, divine unity consciousness. So I was just sharing some insights on terms of our body actually generates electricity that can charge our phone. Our body generates at least up to 100 watts of electricity, and that's just from you being in a calm state. As you are moving, as your heart is pumping more, you actually generate more electricity, which is yet again, we are energy, which is also the importance of knowing that we are always creating, you know, vibrations. We are always emitting that, even though we may not see it, it is around us. We have something called an aura, you know, which is always there. And that's the beauty of also expanding your consciousness. I once didn't believe in those things up until I started to really and truly dive into the depths and understand the meaning of it. And I was like, shit, we are way more powerful than we have been told we are. We are way more than we have been told we are. You know, so in terms of creating new technology, in terms of having new ideas, I inspire and I aspire those of you, you know, just think outside of the box, because thinking outside of the box is what actually brings the new into this plane, into this existence. Like, don't limit your minds, don't limit what it is you can create because of your religious background, or because you may think that it's evil or bad or something like that. No, think about programmed ways of thinking, programmed ways of belief systems that society has implemented onto us. Example, I was talking to someone who believes in the devil in a negative way, you know, believes in the devil. I don't believe in the devil personally. But that being said, I also understand the benefits and the beauties that come with someone believing in the devil. So, for example, some of the benefits in it, it makes people feel like, you know, that something else is doing the bad in the world, and you know, they can just cast all the blame on that, and then it doesn't, they don't feel like, you know, yet again, that it's their fault. They believe that it's the devil doing it. But the flip side of that is it pulls people away from the truth of, yet again, it was never really and truly the devil that did it. Example, when we do something good, we give ourselves praise to doing something good. When we do something bad, it's like, okay, the devil tempted me to do it. But who's the devil? Where did the devil lie? Where did the devil, you know, come about to tempt you? Like, what's the difference between the temptations of doing the good and the temptations of doing the bad? You know what is good, you know what is bad, you know what is right, you know what is wrong, you know what will harm someone and what wouldn't harm someone. Like, we know that intuitively. So like when I look at it, my perspective, my belief, by the way, I don't see the devil as something outside of me either. I see the devil based on, yet again, my state of mind, my state of consciousness, what it is that I choose to do and what it is that I choose not to do, the impacts, the way that I know this may impact somebody, how will it affect them, how will it harm them. That comes from me. That doesn't come from anything outside of me. So that's the hardcore raw truth there. But really and truly, a lot of people within the belief or religious system, they think of it as an evil entity doing that. But the truth is, we are the ones who are doing those things. I'm not saying that, yet again, we are to be held accountable for all of the issues that are going on in the world, because yet again, we are not in control of anyone else. We are only in control of ourselves. Thank you for being here. Good to see, well, good to hear from you. Thank you for coming into this live today. I'm just diving deep here on some deep truths about religion, and also speaking about the pros and cons, the positives and the negatives. So, on the topic now of kind of, what the devil is and the benefits of believing in the devil, the negatives of believing in the devil. So, for starters, as I was saying, that, the beauty that comes with it is that it gives people that insight, that feel of, all right, so since the devil is the one doing the bad, all the bad, and yet again, okay, if anything happens, I just cast the blame and say, well, the devil did it. But the truth is, the devil didn't do it. Example, when we do something good, we give ourselves the praise for the good that we do, we give ourselves the praise for all of these different good stuff, and fail to realize that the same way that we influence ourselves to do the good is the same way that we could influence and said, well, all right, do the bad or whatever it is may be. Because innately, naturally, we know what is the right thing to do and what is not the right thing to do. We know naturally how to go about doing and how to go about living. So the term the devil has just been created yet again for us to cast blame on. And I've become to realize that the devil is not an entity outside of us, but really and truly within us also, within our belief systems, you know? Yes, guys. Yeah. So, in that being said, the right that we know feels right, the good that we know is the good thing to do. I say, move towards doing that. We don't need to have that fearful factor of the devil in control of our life, and they're the ones attacking us, and they're the ones doing that, and they're the ones this, and they're the ones that. No, like, that is something that has inflicted a lot of fear on us. That is something that has caused us to have a lot of doubts within our minds also. That is something that has limited us and has trapped us in a box. So I'm saying to break free from that today and understand that the power that your soul holds, the power that you have within you, is far more powerful than any entity that has been created collectively. Because, like I said, my world, in the way, my belief system that I am, the devil doesn't exist. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist in someone else's reality. Frankly, does. They believe in it, so it is real. I don't, so it's not. In my world, the truth is that's the truth. In their world, the truth is that's the truth. This is the truth. In my world, in my reality, in my existence, I live this way. I live freely. I live disconnected from that fear-based reality. I live in that trust. I live in that love. My love conquers everything. My love conquers any being external in terms of that is trying to inflict fear or instill fear. This is why I'm not afraid of the matrix. I'm not afraid of the system. I'm not, because what is there to be afraid of? Another example someone asked. So if you're not afraid of God, then what are you afraid of? And I asked them this question. I said, if you look yourself in the mirror, are you afraid of yourself? I was like, no. So then why should I be of the God that I know is within me? Because looking at yourself, God is within you. So if you are afraid of you, you are afraid of God. Most people that are afraid of themselves is also because they think of themselves in a negative way. And that yet again also stems from a lot of negative programming from religion. You know, example from certain religions when they tell you you can't do this, you can't do that, you're a sinner, you're this, you are that. When the true meaning of sin is just to err, to make an error. It's like an error, it's just an error. It's just when you fall from purpose, it's when you fall from what it is that you are truly destined to do. But one can always pull themselves out of that. And actually, can I ask your viewers on religion, obviously in Christianity is seen as a sin and meant for marriage. Yeah. Feel free, feel free. So, and so it's not a matter of, you know, you're a sinner and you're condemned or damned to the eternal, you know, hell cage. But it's a matter of, hey, you fall from your purpose. The meaning of sin is the error, to make a flaw, to basically do something that you probably didn't really mean to, but you did it unconsciously or whatever. You know, you just fell out of it. But you can come back. There's always a way back. Always. Like you're never condemned for eternity. You're never really condemned. That's the truth that religion doesn't tell you. And yet again, the fair factor that there is in religion, benefits yet again and negatives. Where the benefits is the fear stops people from doing bad things, doing things to harm others. But the truth is, you don't need to be afraid to not do something to harm someone. No, living in love actually motivating not to harm someone, because the more love you have, the more you understand there's nothing to be afraid of, and the more love you have for others, the more you understand that you don't want to hurt others. That's it. And all of that being said too, even in living in love, it doesn't mean that if you know you don't want to hurt others, you don't want to do this, you don't want to be that way to others, because of the empathy now that comes with love, the amount of joy that comes with love. But yeah, I understand this in terms of even being in that love and not wanting to do others harm, not wanting to do people wrong and stuff like that, wanting to be good and wanting to be kind. It's very easy to be kind and show compassion and show empathy, but it's a matter of understanding that not everyone deserves your kindness, not everyone deserves your empathy. And this is where the discernment, this is where you need to trust your vibe to understand, hey, does the vibe align? Is this person here to hurt me? Is this person here to help me? Is this person here to bring forth positive duty and essence into my life? Or is this person here to destroy me? Is this person here to hurt me? We have that vibes, we have that discernment, we have that ability to know when we are tuned in and tapped into love. So this is where we use that love also to protect us from those entities. And as we listen to our love, as we listen to what feels right within us in terms of interacting with others too, we know who we can give and share that energy and share that essence with, and who we can't share that energy and give that essence to. That's it. Not a matter of fight it again. We never need to fight. We really and truly never need to. So just raising awareness in terms of where a lot of the fighters come from, and to share with you guys, know that it's never a matter of, yet again, anyone's belief system is the end all and say all. It's just a matter of understanding each other for our differences and working towards uniting and bettering, finding better solutions for society, guys. So, guys, I will be taking my leave here. I've said a lot in this message for those of you who joined in a little late. I said a lot of very beautiful, deep insights earlier on, too. You can probably watch over this message. And thank you for being Viva Survivor. Grateful for the amount of time that you spent here on this channel. I am very grateful for you. One of the day ones. You definitely have my gratitude. Shay, thank you for being here always. Also, thank you for being here. New to the channel, but you have also showed a lot of consistency. I am definitely grateful for you. Keep up the good work, guys. Know that your work that you are doing internally, universe is definitely also grateful for it. I know you don't need to hear that from me because yet again the universe will be always giving you that love and showing you that love. Keep your arms open, keep your chin up, protect your energy, and make sure that your love is sacred and hold very precious to you. Know that yet again you are loved, you are appreciated. I am grateful. Peace, love, and harmony to you all, guys. One love. I'm out. Thank you, Viva.